speaking of Brazil, let's talk about skullz, because we had talked about
Yeah.
Team Liquid and how they are benching Cadian, and that skullz was going somewhere, and that they were removing Zeus. Um, let's talk about Brazil as a whole, because Furia has been the team in Brazil for a very long time. And I'd say about 5 years they've been. Because as of June 21st, which will be the day after this podcast goes up, I believe it'll be Friday, KSCERATO and Yuri's deals are up. And we know this because they signed 5-year deals in 2019, which at the
Jesus
time we
Christ.
thought was fucking insane. And you know what?
It was.
It was. But
Yeah.
it kind of worked out for those two players.
It worked out for those two, but that was never the issue was never how good a deal it was for KSCERATO and Yuri. It was more how good is it for Furia, which they've been stuck with this team for so long.
Yes, I agree. Okay. I wonder how that deal actually went at the end of the day. I wonder if that actually benefited KSCERATO and Yuri because they were if it actually benefited Furia, sorry, because Furia didn't have to pay KSCERATO what he would have been worth 2 years ago or a year ago when he was a top 3 rifler in the world.
True. But then what did they get out of it? Very little.
That's a great question. I'm trying
and
to
Yuri's
find
been basically downhill ever since. So.
I'm trying to find the contract. So they signed the entire team at the time. And I'm trying to figure out who the entire team at the time was. It was Art, Yuri, Vinny, KSCERATO, and Abel J. So three players from that roster are no longer on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
They probably got their
why 5-year deal was never really made sense for that team, but
they probably got their money out of Art, to be fair.
But yeah, like in a sense, but then again, they felt a little bit stuck in a rut with this team. Like they were never wanted to cut Art, they never wanted to cut Yuri because they're committed to them, and it's like if you weren't so committed to them, maybe you could have gotten better.
So it seems like they are replacing Kai, who was their 5th player, who was absolutely not ready for tier 1, etc., etc. Yeah. It looks like they're bringing skullz in, which would be, maybe for the first time ever, the most reasonable move I could expect from Furia.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much spot on. Yeah.
I'm curious to see what happens with KSCERATO and Yuri, though. Because with their contracts
KSCERATO might end up going to Liquid.
Yep. That is exactly what I'm thinking in my head. Is that
or G2.
Oh God, no. With KSCERATO and Yuri's contracts up, KSCERATO more so, he will be suited by about every team possible.
Mm-hmm.
And considering it's June 19th and we're 2 days before the deals expire, I feel like we would have heard something about his contract being extended by this point.
Yeah, we might also have heard something about him moving by now. I think we don't have vines in the Brazilian scene in the same way, so it's hard for us to know exactly what the feelers are. He might not know either, to be fair. He might be. Yeah. They might have offered him a deal, and he's like, "I'm going to have a look first."
Yeah, he wants to be.
But let's not forget, Liquid tried to sign him before, and he turned them down to stay at Furia. I know circumstances were different then, but like.
I was gonna say, what was Furia then versus what is?
Well,
Furia
no, what
now?
it was just after his father passed away, and he didn't want to leave Brazil.
Okay, that too. But I mean,
yes,
if you're KSCERATO and you're looking at this team that they've made right now, I don't know how much you are encouraged to stay.
No, I think that he wanted to play with Fallen originally. Maybe he still does, but.
It'll be a tad bit interesting on what goes on there, I think, because we don't know a huge amount more in the in Brazil, and it feels a little. It feels like we don't know what's going to go on. There were rumors about Phelps joining Furia. I think for
he said no, right?
Yeah,
he basically came out and said I'd rather stay on Imperial, which Fair enough, I
based.
guess.
That's, you know what,
I don't think
fine.
Phelps doesn't like traveling, from what I remember. The
Uh,
Brazilian guy told me once that he doesn't really like the traveling. He wants to just stay in Brazil, so he has
pa-
fewer international events on Imperial.
yeah, power to him if you want to do
Yeah, yeah,
that.
exactly. Right.
Any other last bits on Rostermania? I've got one, but it is a
Go on.
tangent. Uh, M80, when they had confirmed Malbs leaving,
Oh, is this
put up
about the
yes,
tweet?
oh yes.
Yeah,
They put up a tweet that said, "Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened." In all black and white about how many uh, 340 days, 220 maps, 3,875 kills, countless memories. Thank you, Mario. And it was just like slow and like classical-ish music. And then they had like this like 3-minute video of like all the teammates and the management stuff saying goodbye to him. Uh, Former TLDR member Brian put a nice little bit under that said, "Rip Mario, I miss that guy already," with some dates and an emoji.
yeah. It was a little bit of a strange video.
It
Very similar
really
to that North one back in the day.
it really looked like it really made it look like he was gonna he had passed. So
Yeah.
much so that our favorite esports journalist, Jake Lucky, um, put
No
up
comment.
a nice little what a great up and coming player gone too soon.
Yeah, he used the wrong two, which I think is a more
Yep,
concerning part of like if you're a journalist, you use the wrong two. To me, that's more concerning than falling for the bait.
I agree, but I cannot believe that he had written that. He claims it was a joke. I I do not
Yeah,
believe it was a joke.
I don't believe anyone who uses the wrong two is capable of understanding the joke anyway.
He has since deleted it, which I think really pushes the
Yeah,
fact that it's
exactly.
not a joke.